It is really honor and privilege for me that I just see myself among you. And as I said, uh, probably you will find out with my accent, whatever it is. And as I mentioned, I will speak English, pure English. But if you have problem with that, then that is your problem. I will solve that problem. Anyway, my name is Milton, Danil, and I have one wife, thank God. So, and a daughter. I'm sorry she couldn't come with me tonight because she take care of my daughter. She is working, and early morning she has to go here, there, and then for her work. So thank you very much for invitation. I'm really very glad because some of you that I know them from long time, years ago, and thank God for this is grace of God that we are still here and can share whatever it is in our heart. In the beginning, I just want to mention that I do believe every single human in this world has got his own story. So that means my story is not bigger than other people. But I'm just going to share what happened basically in my life and why I've been saved and why I'm serving the Lord, because at the moment I'm serving two Iranian churches, one in Croydon, which is base. This is for a long time, since 1995, and Brighton, it is around 7 years now. So on Sunday and on Mondays. And I'm involved with the Christian Satellite program, which is Sat7 Pars, as a part-time working as a presenter, teacher, and other stuff, things that we bring for the Iranian. It is in Farsi, of course. Right, if I go back to my story, my parents, they divorced when I was 3 years old. That is why they told me, actually. I don't remember at that time in my age. And you know that in Iran, still in Iran, man is in power. And that time he was, let's say my dad, as a man, he was in power. And they divorced and they gave me actually to my grandparents from my father's side. So I didn't know that I have father and I have mother because they were very good for me and I was the only one. Then what happened, after years, in Iran, once a family divorce, they become like enemy. It's not like here, you go restaurant once a week and see each other, or children probably. They really feel like enemy with each other. And then my grandfather was a wealthy man, and he was dictated to my mother's side, do not even think about Milton and come close to Milton. And they actually provide me a really good life. But there was a question for me that why my parents are a bit older, because I didn't know. And they said that at that time that you have a brother, he is older than you, but he is working in another city. I was actually from Urmia, not Urmia, Urmia. Ur, that means city, like Urshalim, Ur city, and Mia is water in our Aramaic language. Anyway, so, well, I was very proud of my brother, that I have a brother, older than me, but sometimes he just came to Urmia and he was away from living and working to another city. So when I reached 15, it was 15, suddenly my mother, let's say in this way, my grandmother, but I was actually know her as my mother, she got the stroke and heart attack, and she died. She passed away. But that was really very shocked. I shocked, and it was really terrible time for me. And it took months, and my, let's say, father, he was trying to do everything that he could do. Bring the cousins here, there, and to make me busy. And on summertime, I actually wanted to play basketball, and I just walked on one of the summer day to go to the basketball field and let's say play with the other guys. And it was summertime, around 3, 4 o'clock, and once I was walking, at that time Urmia city wasn't really big one, it was really close, and an American car, you remember that time American cars were very big one, you know, Chevrolet, whatever, Buick, this one, stops, let's say 10 meters, 15 meters before me, and two quite young and tall lady came out from the car. And the plate was Al Kuwait, written in Arabic, Al Kuwait, black and white. And immediately I thought that, okay, they are strangers, foreigners, and they want to ask me address, something like that. And then two ladies, they came out from the car, and then as I slowly approached to them, and I hear suddenly that in my mother tongue, Assyrian, one of them said, Shlam ala Milton, that means, hello Milton, and my name, and in my mother tongue language. And well, I stopped and then said, Shlam alaikum, that means, hi, yeah. And she said, do you know us? I said, no. And immediately she said, well, I'm your auntie and she is your mom. Wow. Your mother. Wow. And I said, what are you talking about? My mother just passed away. And she said, no, she was your grandmother. And that was the moment that all my life, I tell you that from that moment, and immediately, you know, the young man, as a 15 years, you can just imagine, I just turned and run away, and they said, Milton. I just run away to home and waited there and just thinking, who are they? And why they said so? And then until my father came in and he found out the fact that I'm very nervous, I was crying actually. And he said, what happened, son? And I told him the story. And unfortunately, in one sense, he said that, okay, then sit with me and I tell you all the story. And you can imagine. And then he starts telling me that what happened to my father and what happened to why they divorced. And then later I found that my father actually was actually in love with my mother, but my mother not. And that was forced marriage. At the meantime, she had another one that wanted to marry with her, but because of the wealth and this kind of things, that was the forced marriage. That is why the reason. And I mean, if you, let's say, an hour, let's say, half an hour, everything changed. Suddenly, father changed to grandfather, and my mother, beloved mother, now changed to grandmother, and she died. A stranger woman, now she is my mother, and I never saw her. And my brother changed to my father, because he was my father. Yeah, and because he was working away, and they just wanted to, tell me that is why you are the latest one, that is why we were a bit older than, that was our first child. And then, well, in Assyrian and Armenian homes, usually they had the wine and this kind of things, and then I was really upset and very, very confused, very, very much confused, and then I couldn't, but my grandfather now, he said that, but don't worry son, you are my son, blah, blah, but I couldn't manage this kind of things. And then I start to, when I actually was going to work, starting to drink alcohol, but alcohol wasn't really good for me. I didn't like it. Still, I can't really. I might, if you offer me a beer, I may take it, but I'm not the person that, drink a lot. Anyway, so, and school starts. And in school, you go and have your classmates, and because in Iran they were actually, if you pass the exams, going with the other people to another level, like that. And they find out that I am very upset, and they ask me what's happening. Well, everybody has got their own story, and I told them the stories, and they offered me a cigarette. Yeah, and cigarette was great. It was really good I liked it. And then I started to play drums. And why drums? Because I was really, to be honest, I tell you, anger and hatred there was inside me against my father and that woman, my mother. At that time, I didn't know anything about my mother, and they didn't let her to come and see me. Later, I found that every year he was actually coming from Tehran, capital city, to Urmia to see me, but in secret, from distance. That there's Milton going here, there, and that day, because they hear that grandmother passed away, and they thought that, okay, this is the opportunity, let us go, and and then grandfather find out from me, and then he said, no way, you should not come and see Milton as well. So, and then anger was there, and that is why I choose to play drums, because sticks that you have, you just smashed it, and I was crazy for that. And then another musician invited me to. Actually, this takes a long time. Actually, 2 years, let's say. And then he invited me to the band, and immediately made me familiar with the cannabis, this kind of things, hashish, and then. And it was great for me. I mean, I was smoking and then forget everything. Like going to the, on the top of the moon another and coming back here, there.
Another planet.
Oh yeah, on another planet, yes. With the rocket to the moons. Anyway, so then I actually was really good in study, because my grandmother, she was really very concerned that I had to, study well, and I was studying well, and a part of all my things that happened to me, I mean, confusion, whatever, I was studying my study as well. And then slowly that music band led me to the heavy drugs. And then since 17, I've become familiar with the heroin. And that time heroin in Iran, I'm talking about the king time, that was the king time, was very, very cheap, everywhere that you can find. And then I started to inject to my vein. So that was really dangerous. And I tell you the truth, basically I tried 3 times to kill myself, but it didn't happen. And then I thought that, okay, injection, maybe one day, take me, overdose and this kind of things. But I do believe that not maybe, for sure, that Lord has some, plan for me. Anyway, so after that, my grandfather died, and then my father came back, and then I couldn't tell him that you're my dad. You know what I mean? His name was actually, he passed away, Milis, and I couldn't say that dad. I always said that Milis, like 2 brothers, and he was actually understanding me, and he married his 3rd woman, and then, but from the 2nd one he didn't have any children, but from the 3rd one has got one son named Eddie, and he was much younger than me. Anyway, so all these years I tried to be myself. I couldn't manage to be with them. And my stepmother, really wonderful woman, Lydia, wonderful woman. I can even now, I can say that I know her, my mother, more than my real mother. You know what I mean? Because I will tell you what happened. So anyway, so long story, I just cut him because otherwise I will talk till morning here. So when I was 26, around 25, 6, then regimes changed. Khomeini came to Iran and everything finished, music dead. In that time they were very strict against the music. They were thinking that all this music belonged to the Westerns. and they come to our culture, this kind of things. And then no job, nothing. And then I was working actually as a lab technician in the hospital. And then because of the shortage of the money, you can imagine that a pack of the heroin, which was for one day use, it was 5 single toman, it rose suddenly to 100. And then I was getting 3,000, 4,000, and then paying the rent, this, that, and then every day, every single day, the economy was getting bad and bad because of the relationship that they didn't have good relationship with the European, with the American. You know that these stories anyway. So still, it is the same. So then I start to steal things from the laboratory and sell them to to market and this kind of things, and then they find out and they throw me out of my job. So I found myself in the middle of nowhere because I left my stepmother, and I didn't want to go back to them. And I tell you that they didn't want I go back to them because they knew that now I am addicted. And addiction in Iran, it's not like here that you can say, okay, he is addicted man, human. No. If you are in Iran addicted to something, you are not, I'm sorry saying this, but it looks like animal. You know what I mean? So they do like that. So, and in that case, starting with involved with the gang and other guys that I knew the same situation that they were, and then we start to do such bad things. Of course, you can imagine that what it would mean. And in age 27, between 25, 27, actually. I was an Assyrian starting to be, I don't know for what reason, very nationalistic, being Assyrian. And that was because of Brother Edward Hosepian. Because as an Assyrian, they said that a man, Armenian man, came to Urmia. He was minister anyway, pastor. Most of you, I think, you know him well. And they said that he's Armenian. I didn't have with the Armenian, but slowly, because of the revelation, what happened, revolution there, and blah 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 things. And then we said that okay, we Assyrian have to do something. Yeah. And you can imagine what a drug addicted, what did they want to do? Nothing. But that was only make us a bit busy and happy. And then they said that he came to Assyrian church, an Armenian man. He came to the Assyrian church and he preached Farsi. And for us, Farsi was like Muslim language. I'm sorry saying this because that time it was like that, because Farsi for us was the Muslim. And we were thinking that how can an Armenian man come to Assyrian church and talk Muslim language? It is impossible. It should not happen. And with the gang that we have, we started disturbing Brother Edward many times. And that time was very normal to everywhere. You just people writing down death to America, death to this, death to that. That they were shouting. And we got the spray and and where the Brother Edward's house was there, I went there and wrote it in Farsi, Marg bar Baradar Edward, writing that death to Brother Edward. We honor him as a brother. So death to Brother Edward. Because once you said brother, that means they are Pentecostal. That was different. And then we had problem. And they came to me and they told me that they gathering together and during their meeting they suddenly like that they going down and they come up something from their mouth and they shaking like that, the negative things that because they want to poison.
Because they didn't believe the Holy Spirit, maybe.
Yeah, they never happened. But what they heard, they were exaggerating. They were exaggerating that young people they go and do this and then suddenly they fell down.
Speaking tongues.
And speaking with tongues, and we didn't know what the speaking of tongues was, because my background was the evangelical, actually, Presbyterian. But anyway, so we were very against Brother Edward. And we started to disturb him and then writing those things. And that is why we wrote Brother Edward, because it wasn't honoring, because we wanted to tell that this man, should not be here. And I remember that one night, it is very cold. Urmia was usually in wintertime very cold, and there was lots of snow. And we find out that he actually was with one of the elders, and a bit far from the city. And we decided to go there. And he has got a van that was presented from America, a very old one, during the Shah time to the church for ministry. And he actually take it there, and I don't know why we did this, but we wanted to just laugh, have a fun. And it was really shivering, cold. And with the group, we just waiting there until he came there, because they told us that he's going to be there. And they invited him for probably dinner, because it was dark. And once we were there, we and cut with the knife the in front left tire. Yeah, and the Iran driving the left on the left. So, and we were waiting just there in the cold, shivering, smoking, and then anyway he came out to go to his home, and Brother Edward's attitude was, if he sees something strange, he said, like that. And he came and found out that the tire was flat, and he said, and we started just laughing and laughing. I mean, laughing for nothing, you know what I mean? Laughing for crime, probably, that we did. And we were just laughing, and that was our day, you know what I mean? And then, well, that wasn't time with the mobile or Uber, this, that, then he went in to sleep until they could do something in the morning for his car. Anyway, so once I reached 27, one day, Baha'i, there is an ethnic group that Muslims are very against them. So there was a shopkeeper, and it was a good shop, and we knew that he was a rich man. And I thought that, okay, to the gang, I said that if we go attack him, and if they arrest us, we'll say that, okay, we attack Baha'i. You know what I mean? And they will release us, because they were against the Baha'is. And that was the opposite on the road. And I was just standing there, and my situation was terrible, because 7-8 months I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any place, sleeping on the road anyway. So with the long hair, beard, and very dirty clothes. And well, they said that, okay, you go first, and then we go together, and whatever that we can take, we'll take money, whatever jewelry, whatever that we reach. And in Urmia in Iran, once they want to close the shop, they usually bring down the curtain, whatever, and then you can see that, okay, you can't go there, finish. And then I just waited for that moment, then I go. Suddenly, my brother, Eddie, and I was 27 and he was 12. And he appeared in front of me, and he said, our language, hello, Milton. And then I said, go away, because I knew him, but it was for 2-3 years I didn't see him, but he was grow up. And then he said, no. And then I said, go. To be honest, I didn't want people to see him with me, because they were thinking that I am dealing with the drugs. Yeah? And he indicated his tiny small finger. He said that, Milton, Jesus can heal you and save you. And I said, what? He said, Jesus can heal you and save you. And I tell you, that was the first encouragement sentence that I hear. Because everybody was telling me that, you studied, you were a lab technician, don't do this, don't do that. Hayfete in Farsi, don't. But nobody showed me the way. And I immediately, then I forgot that, that store, whatever, that Baha'i. I just immediately I said, what I have to do? And then he said, you have to come to our church. And like that, because I was taller than him. And I said, where is your church? He said, Brother Edward's church. Oh, I said, oh no. I said, okay. But he said, no, you promised me. And I said, I promise you. And he said, you are the word of your, you are a man of your word. I said, I am. And he said, I'm waiting for you. I said, okay, yes, I will. You just go. And once I said, you just go, I got a punch. Because the gang people, because he closed and he went, that shopkeeper, and the fighting start. And then, I said, wow, what a terrible, even he cries, you see. He or she. And then I thought that what a life, man, for myself. You were in good place, and now look at what happened, and you are now on the street, and other people, and the Revolutionary Guard usually they come and kick us because we were just sleeping there, and that is. But that sentence always it was in my mind. I kept it, and then one day I decided to go to that church, and it wasn't a church building. It was a where they stay actually as a building, and basement was actually designed as a hall, and they put the chairs and for their meetings, and I'd never be there, but I was there for writing those things with the spray. Anyway, so I decided to go, and I didn't know that was Good Friday. That was Good Friday. And I didn't know that my brother told Brother Edward my situation, and they were praying for 1 year. This is all they told me later, and I didn't know. Every day. Anyway, so I just opened, I went in and I said, wow, written there such a bad things. I said, how can I go in? I said, okay, Milton, go. I just opened the gate, a metal gate, and then I found another addicted man was there, and he was a Syrian as well, and I shot on him, and I said, what are you doing here? And he said, what are you doing here? I said, well, that's not your business, and he said, that's not your business, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, come on. And he was smoking, and they said, well, Milton, why you are here? I said, I don't know, my brothers told me that come here, and I just want to go there and see they will do this, and excuse. And then he said, Milton, many times I've been here, they are very good people. Come and go in. I said, you go, and I will come later. But, I didn't want to show him that I am interested, And anyway, so he smoked and he went out. And suddenly I heard guitar. Somebody was playing guitar. And, well, once you are in music, it attracted me. I said, guitar in the church? Because we had the organs, in the Presbyterian church, like that, only that one. And then I said, guitar, that's really good. And then there was a curtain and stairs, and then on the right side, that basement, like a hole, yeah? And I carefully, very slowly, take the curtain off, and that was really great view for me. It was really. Why? Because once you, inject the heroin, light is disturbing you. And what they did actually, they put the candles on the stairs, and they turned off all the lights, because it was Good Friday, and inside the candles, and atmosphere was really brilliant. And I said, wow, what a brilliant, what a nice, and slowly I just took my step down, and once I turned to right side, I saw the Brother Edward was on the table, Holy Communion table, and then he was like that, and lots of young people, some of them, they just hands up, and he was just playing guitar, singing a Farsi song, and some of them they're singing, and closed eyes, worshipping, and that is what I saw. It wasn't really, I told them, but they said no, it wasn't. But I saw like looked like clouds. You know what I mean? Like a smoke, and some of hands out, some of heads out, girls, boys, and I found that there was two guys that I knew them very well. One was the Shemiran's brother who was playing basketball with us, but he was brother. And we throw him out of the team. And we said, because you are believer, you can't play with us. And he was there. And another one was there, and he was the footballer as well. So I found that, wow, they are here as well. So they were closed their eyes, but of course, they knew that somebody came in anyway. And I found that the chairs, metal chairs, they call arj, you probably know. Anyway, so. And I said, okay, I'm going to sit in the middle. And I check, and I sit in the middle, like that. And then I said, I will focus, let's see what they're doing. And guitar was really nice, and playing an Armenian guy, Heros. And I was just focusing on Brother Edward, at what they are doing. And once you look somewhere, you focusing, your side, you can see something, isn't it, from right and from your left. And I realized that the place that I sit, there was a bag here, ladies' bag, and another one here. And I don't know why I just, not on purpose, just, I just sit between them. And I just checked and said, wow, this is a good place, because I can take something from it. And then they were just praying, and singing. Nobody, and because of the chairs like that, they couldn't see my hand. And then I just put my hand inside, there, and opening the zip. And I said, whatever it comes to my hand, well, I will grab it and I will take it. And I tell you, my brothers and sisters, that was the moment. Unbelievable, a sound like a very, very powerful speaker you can imagine. Behind my left ear, in my mother tongue, voice of a man said, Milton lachala. That means, Milton, don't do it here. And it was, I can't even, tell you that how strong it was. And I just froze like that, freeze. And then I knew that nobody was behind me, and slowly I took my hands, and then, and the fear came to me, and I turned like that, here, there, and nobody was there, and that was the moment that I thought that I am in a very, very holy place, I tell you, that because, that sound, and nobody heard that, because it was too loud. And I was just thinking, what was this? What was that? Suddenly they turn all the lights on. And you can imagine that what happened to me, and my eyes, and then everybody knew that I was there. So, but they didn't act. So I just stood up, and then I just want to run away, and they blocked the stairs, and then everybody was telling me, welcome, Mr. Milton. And Mr., everybody was like, oi, what Mr.? I mean, Mr. Milton in Armenian, in Azeri, in Farsi, and I saw Brother Edward, usually he was, in good shape, body, and he came to me and said, he's gonna do now, I'm among them, and what they are gonna to do with me. And he came and said, welcome, Mr. Milton, and he hugged me, and I was really very, weak. And then like that, welcome. Instead that I see that they, now I was shaking like that. And then he said that, we are very happy that you are here. And I was like, how he can be happy that I am here?
Yeah, he was praying for you.
and then I saw my brother Eddie was there on his knee, and he was crying because he invited me, and I myself went to the church that I was against, and everybody was happy there, and I was shocked. And then Brother Edward said that, Milton, I'm going to Tehran, and I will come back, and then actually manage. We want to see you, and please tomorrow come to our home and have something eating with us. I said, yes, okay. I just want to escape, I just wanted to go out. And then once I go out, I said, you know what I mean? You can imagine that what happened to me. And I was very shocked that how can an enemy for me, love me, and all these people. I didn't see anybody, such bad things that they actually told me, and I found that some people, it was dark, because that program was on the night. Anyway, they were gathering on the fireplace, and all of them addicted or the drug dealers. And then I just pushed them, some of them, and I was really cold, and I was thinking. And then I said, once once you put on the fire, it goes like, and I saw myself like that, and I said, what a life that I had. All, is perished, everything is finished for me. What am I going to do? And suddenly I saw nobody is around me. And once I opened, my head up, I said the drug, agency officer was there in front of me. That is why all of them, they escaped, and he was there. He said, what are you doing here? I said, officer, I'm just thinking, because he could arrest me. Because they arrested me many times, and then I said, oh no. And then I said, well, I'm thinking that how I can release from the drugs. Then he smiled and said, yeah, you think. It's good you think. You just say, yeah, you think. And I was a kind of man, if somebody against my word and, will, I was shot. And I shot on him, and he was going to his jeep. There was, And then I said, you will see that I will get out of this, blah, 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 blah. And they was laughing, and, And then I thought that, okay, what I'm going to do. And the day after, because of Monday he wanted to go to Tehran, and Sunday was the Easter Sunday. And then on Saturday, I said, okay, let's go and see this man. Let's see what will happen. And then Anahit, his wife, that time was alive, and she was angel. And I knocked the door, and she came, hello, Mr. Milton, what I mean? I said, nobody said to me like such a thing. And I was surprised, And then they said, come in. And once I, step in, I thought, rice, the smell of rice, food. And I tell you, I just was using just a piece of bread every day. Very, very, weak. And my face was actually like that because of the injection, and all the time that been like that, and problem with my neck. Anyway, and I just told brother that came out and, come and sit here with me. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take my boots. Is that okay? Because I knew that if I want to take the boots, it would stink. Because of the days and months I didn't. I said, no, it's okay. Come in. No worries about it. Come. And he actually, I was really very, sitting like that and just looking at him. And he starting talking, how are you? What are you doing? Like this. Your brother Eddie told us about your story. I said, I'm sorry, this kind of things happen to you. He said, forget those things. We are not here to talk about the, whatever the past. I just want to tell you that if you want to release from this situation, you have to submit yourself. And the word of submit in Farsi, taslim, that can be meaning of you go to police. And you know what I mean? You go and report yourself to, and that, at that day, there was no NA, nothing, no organization. I said, what? He said, no. That means submit yourself to the Lord Jesus Christ. And, well, I didn't know what he was talking about. And I said, okay. And I said, okay. And suddenly I saw that, he said, Milton, I'm coming. I'm just going to help Anahit. I'm coming back. And he just put his wallet. Yeah, at that time there was no card, nothing, and the cash. And wallet was a bit fat one, nice one, like that. And then he put it on the, yes, nice one like that. And he put it on the table there and the fruit everywhere. And he put it there and said, Milton, I'm coming, just make yourself busy, blah, blah. If you want to smoke, smoke. If you want to inject, inject. If you want to smoke heroin. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I said, feel free here. I said, wow, what a nice enemy. I mean, wonderful. And they said, no, I'm not going to smoke, nothing to do. But I was looking at that wallet, that was really nice one. I was thinking that why he put it there? Because I saw that he put it there. But I didn't touch it anyway. There was no camera, there was, nothing. And then I didn't touch it. I said, no, be nice here. And then later, actually, I asked him, why you put your wallet there? He said that because I just wanted you pick some money. I didn't want to give you money that you don't feel bad. I thought that you will take some money and don't go steal money. And you can imagine that, but that was wisdom, isn't it? So, wow. And then, I didn't touch it. And then he said that, okay, Milton, we'll do our best. I go and I come back. And then as a team, we'll take you to village. Urmia was with lots of villages. And then we'll take care, of you. Because in prison even, took 3 days, you shivering this and, lots of pain. And then gradually it passed away, but it is here. Once you come out from the jail, you go again and find it. That is the problem. The addiction problem is that one, especially in heroin. Anyway, so I thought, well, okay, they will take me and they will take care. It's good that it's not in prison. Actually, they will give me food, this, that. And then I said, okay, and shook our hand, and now you become a friend. What a great enemy becomes a friend. And then I saw, again, there is written, Brother Edward. And I said, Brother Edward, shall we, wipe up? He said, no. Has to be remainder. So why? I said, no, that is really good. Just let me there. I said, well, you know better than us anyway. So, and he said, because that is miracle. And then I didn't have any money, but I have drums, and I thought, and some laboratory books in my father's home, And then I said, okay, let's go and take some of the books and sell them, not steal from here, there. Because I give to people the check, and, lots of other stuff that I don't want to waste your time. I mentioned the bad things, actually. And stealing money from here, there, and grabbing the bags. Anyway, so with the gangs as well, and myself. And I knew that how to open the door. And I opened, and my stuff was actually on the stairs, on the last stair, to going to the roof, And they were just kept it there. I said, okay, I'm going to take some books, these nice books, and then sell it to the library, to let's say bookstores here and there, and then gain some money, and until Brother Edward come back. And once I come back, suddenly Lydia, my stepmother, opened the door because she saw me that I just, going slowly there. And said, Lydia, said, what are you doing here? I said, but this is my books, that. She said, no, I'm not saying that you steal something, because this is your books, I said, I just want to take them to the bookstore. And then she said, why you don't want to come in? I said, no, I'm not going to come in because Miles, I couldn't say father, Miles will come and we will fight because it happens many times. And then, because I was always hate him, that why you introduce yourself to my brother? You're my father. What kind of father you are? You know what I mean? And anyway, so he said, look, no worries. I will take care of it. You come here. I said, Lydia, and then again the food, and he was really good in food. And then I said, okay, I just put the books there, and then I went in and I sat there, and then he said that, would you like to eat, drink? I said, well, yeah. And then I started something eating, and then she said that, you're stinking, you know that? I said, what do you mean? He said that, because of your situation, come on, why you don't want to go take a Shabbat? I said, no, Lydia, because the Shabbat was against the, addiction, against the using the, once you use the drugs, And if you use drugs, go to take shower, it's okay. But if you don't, that will even worse. Anyway, so the steam, this kind of. And I said, no. I said, no, please go and, And it wasn't central heating, it was just boiler, And then I said, okay. I don't know why I said that, okay. And then I went to, first door, you take your clothes, and then second is the shower room. I took everything, and then I thought that she was right, because once I opened my boots, it was terrible. Anyway, so I start to wash and, shampoo, and once I finished, I saw myself in the mirror, and, there was a mirror. The old hair, once the hair is greasy, it's getting better shape after months, isn't it, long? And it was not like that. And I was afraid, I said, wow, is that me? And it was amazing. I'll tell you that immediately all my skin was reddish because of the clean. I don't know what happened anyway. Probably allergy, whatever, allergy for cleaning. Anyway, so, and then I said, Lydia, where are my clothes? I said, forget those clothes. I bring you clothes. And my, let's say, father, Milis, was shorter than me. She brought me his clothes. And then I wear the trousers was in here. And I said, what am I going to do with this? And I didn't know, cry or, laugh. And I come out, I said, Lydia, where are my clothes? I said, I just put them in the, there in the yard, and they burned them. I said, what? I said, you burned my life. And because all my heroin, whatever, all the pills, volume, diazepam, volume 5, 10, whatever that I had for emergency, you can imagine, all of them, they were on the fire. I said, you know what you did? You just ruined my whole life. And then I was very angry. He said, no worries, don't worry. And she was really the angel. And said, come and sit here. Would you like to eat? I said, no, I don't want to eat. And now I can't go like that out because, hair like that. And, people know I'm really as addicted. Now people think that I'm come out from the, some crazy, guy and is probably arrested. And what happened, during that I got the shower, I didn't know, my father actually came in. And she said, shush, Milton is here, blah, blah, blah. Eddie actually prayed for him, he went to the church, and positive things. And my father said, okay, but, we have to be careful of him. And then, once I started to eat, suddenly he came in. He came in, and I said, like that. And then said, he was acting. What are you doing here? And I said, I didn't come here. Your wife invited me to come here. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw that Lydia was, what I mean. And then he said, okay, eat. And then he said, he said, you know what I'm going to do with you? I said, you are going to do nothing because you don't have anything, no power, nothing to do with me. He said, no, I just want to ask you, please, go to the basement. I said, why? I said, just I ask you to go to basement. I said, well, let's go to basement. Let's see what's happening there. And because he was mechanic, he was lots of, screwdrivers here, there, and very wet one, and small one. And then we went there with him, and he said, okay, you know what, son? For first time he said, son. And then I said, what? He said, okay, listen, I know that you are angry with me. That I hear that you went to the church, what happened. Eddie told us everything. He was shouting the day that he came and he saw you that you are in the church. I'm going to keep you here in this basement. Whatever that you want, you just shout, we will bring it to you. But you don't go, please, don't go anywhere. Just stay with us here. And I don't know why I accepted. I said, okay, I will. And then he brought the portable, the bed, like something that they used for the, camping like that. And immediately Lydia brought the, everything clean, nice. And then he said, okay, this is the cigarette, but he took off the aluminium because you could smoke if you had the, drugs. But I didn't have, and everything was, finished, burned. And then it was getting now darker, and I had in my body still what I used it. And then I sat there, and they again brought me things that, just eat fruit, this, that, and once it got the very, very dark, he came down, he said that, son, I'm going to lock the door, if you don't mind. I said, well, because I understood what he was saying, I said, okay, lock. And he locked the door, and there was a tiny windows which was stuck to the,
Ceiling.
yeah, that's right, that. And you couldn't open it and just close it. It was something like that. And I thought that, that's good, because I can escape from there, Immediately I planned for myself. And slowly, I thought for myself, what are you doing here? What stupid man you are here? Why you came here? You're supposed to go to take those books and sell them and go and gain the, drugs, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And, well, that night passed. I couldn't sleep. And the day after, morning, I just hear that door was closed. I knew that my father was going to, work. And then I thought, okay, he's gone now. I'm going to prepare to do something. I have to jump out from here and then go out. And once I said jump out there, I just looked at that wall. I saw a young man that I knew that was drug dealer. He came in. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. That's right. And then I said, what are you doing here? He said, what? Do you want to have heroin? It's free today. I said, do you have it? He said, yeah. And he put it 2-3 packs in my hand, and I immediately put it in my pocket. And he said, go, my father will come and, kill you. And then he disappeared, and then I put in my hand, there was nothing. I thought, wow. And that, I said, what happened? And then I found out, though, it wasn't real. It was just imagination. That's correct, yeah. And then I said, okay, I can't. And then I struggled, and then, anyway, going out from that part, all my, back hurt. And then it was like garden, and then going 2-3 steps in the hole. And I opened the hole like that, and Lydia was in the middle of the hole. Suddenly she turned and said, Milton! And once she said Milton, the blood comes from her lower lip. She was shocked, afraid.
She bit her lip.
Oh yeah, I said, you okay, Lydia? She said, and she was shaking. I said, sit. I said, okay. She said that, why you come upstairs? I said, well, I don't know, I come to drink a tea. And then, what I'm saying exactly, that Lord knows that exactly what I'm saying, it is on the truth. And then she said, okay, sit, I'm going to bring you tea. And in that time, in addiction, you can't drink and eat unless you use drugs. Otherwise,
You feel sick.
that's right, you can't. And I said, well, drink. And she prepared, and in Iran they have always all the time, the tea is ready there anyway. She brought the tea and said, anything else? I said, no. And she started talking. I don't know what she talked about and what I replied. I don't remember those things. And then I just drank it, and then I said, finished. Thank you, Lydia. I said, no problem, you're welcome. And they said, okay, I'm going back down. And I went down, and you can imagine from that tiny again, I jumped in, and once I jumped in, a bit hurt, I said, what are you doing? I told myself, you are crazy. What are you doing? And I didn't know that my father, Melis, didn't go to work. He was actually going out and coming in, checking me. Because both of them, they were working, and she actually got some days from her work, and then she wanted to, take care of me. And then Lydia Express, she told him that he was here, my father came down with a stick. He thought that now I'm probably can be danger. And I was in the middle there, like looking like that, like crazy man. And he came down and opened the key, and then with this he said, "I hear that you come out from the blah 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 blah." I said, "Yeah. So what's the problem?" He said, "The problem? Sleep on the bed." I said, "Why?" He said that I'm going to chain you. Okay, I said, chain me? That was the time that I could punch him, they go, but I don't know why. I said, okay. Nicely, I just lay down, and he brought the chain that they use for the tires on the snow, yeah. And then he brought it there, and he put it a lock on it, and he checked it. He said, "That's good. Whatever that you need, just shout. We will bring it to you, and then you can't go out now." He was happy, and I said, "Okay." And he went out, and then again, my body now was getting worse because of the, I started, it was shivering like that, my hands, and sneezing, all the, everything, all the organs inside, pain, oh, I tell you, oh, terrible. And then I was just looking on the chair, that I started to beat myself. I said, "You are crazy, why you let him to do this? Why you didn't punch him? Why you didn't take his money out and go out, just go out? Why you are doing this, blah, 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 such a things?" And then I started to think that what I'm going to do now. And starting to find a scissors, yeah. And eventually I opened the lock. And that was my funniest part. I was like, Millis closing, Milton is opening. Millis closing, Milton is opening. And that was my hatred because of him. That he was closing, but I opened it, And then I said, "Forget this story, man, come out." And then I jumped out again, and this time again, Lydia saw me in the middle and said, "Do you want tea?" Again, he said, yeah. And unbelievable, was I going upstairs, let's say, yeah, it was in my mind that I'm going to do something, jewelry, this, that, stay and go. And immediately it was just opposite. And she brought again tea, and I drank it, and then, I said, "Lydia, thank you very much." And guess what? I said, "Okay, I'm going down again." And I went down again, and then, once I jumped in, I saw that the keys there and chain are there. "What are you doing, man?" Melis came up again. "What are you doing? What kind of..." I said that the luck wasn't really good. But he was angry. "Sleep there!" Like that. Again he said, "Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with you." I said, "What?" He said, "No." No, he said, "Now chain on chain." He opened the chain, it was like that thick. And he put it there and, then close it, no lock now. And then I said, "Try." Try. He said, "Yeah, I can't." I said, "Stay there. 2-3 days, son, 2-3 days." I said, "Oh, son, 2-3 days. What are you talking about?" Again, I was starting, my body even worse. Oh, I tell you, sneezing, and my eyes, and pain. All my, let's say, bones, the pain. It wasn't like you do something on it, you couldn't do anything. Anyway, so I just went, that was the third day, and again I hear that he went out, and then I said, "What I'm going to do?" And I find a file, metal file. And you can imagine how long it took that I just saw it with the metal files, maybe hours, I don't know. Eventually it comes out. And then I put it back and it comes out. Suddenly somebody said, "Milton." And from that tiny window, a very, very handsome man, young, dressing brown, he came down like that, said, "Milton?" I said, "Yeah? Who you are?" I said, "You don't know me, but I know you. Would you like to have heroin?" I said, "What? Do you have it?" He said, "Yes." And he gave me that much in pack, that much. He said, come on, take it. And I took it slowly and put it there. I said, it's mine. He said, yeah. I said, okay, go. My father will come. Go. And once he was laughing at me like that, he did like this, and he disappeared because I on downstairs and he was on the. He disappeared, and I turned. There was nothing. Oh my God! You know, it wasn't just 2-3 pack now. It was that much for whole my life. And then it disappeared. I said, no, not at this time anymore. What I'm going to do, I just planned because it was off the chain. I said that I'm going to take the cylinder, the gas cylinder. That time was really very expensive because of the war between Iran and Iraq. And I will take it and sell it and go for my life, man. What are you doing here? And, anyway, so I jumped again out, and then I went back there. Again, Lydia came out, and they said, what are you doing? What do you want? I said, tea. Oh my God. And I didn't have any idea in my mind, you know, that why I am here at that time, at that moment. And then again, I drank it and I went down. I jumped there and I said, Milton, you finished. You are crazy. Your brain is gone, and you can't do anything. And then I just sat on my bed, and then I was just like that, yeah. And I was thinking, as a young man, and I was thinking. Immediately, my grandmother was, you know, coming to my, and then that lady was my mother, and all these things. And suddenly, I hear exactly what Brother Edward says, his voice. Milton, if you want to release from this situation, you have to submit yourself to the Lord Jesus Christ. Very clear in Farsi, in this. And then I closed my eyes, and then it wasn't like pray, but I said this. I said, I don't know you are or you are not, Jesus. If you are, please release from this situation, please. As soon as I said this, I was like, you know, like this. And then, because of my eyes, they were closed, I saw a hand upon my head from till here. Came like, let's say this is my head, yeah? Came like that, and it's grabbed something like that, like a stick zigzag, full of dirt, whatever that you thought. I mean, I was just watching, and then took it and then threw it away. And once I threw it away, I, you know, opened my eyes, and then suddenly, even now I'm saying it's a heat. I don't know what kind of heat was. Starting from my feet, both of them, it comes to all my body, and I was really dying with that kind of heat, and it went out. Yeah. And I said, oh no, these are not real. These are not real. And then suddenly I said, my hands are not shivering and shaking. I said, how? No, it's not real. And then I start to, you know, bang it on the wall. And it hurts me. I said, no, it is true. And then stabbing myself, I said, oh, it's true. And then suddenly I stand up and sit down. I stand up and sit down. At that moment, I didn't know that they were watching me. My father, my brother, and my stepmother, my mother, Lydia. And later, my brother said to me that you brought this crazy man here. That was saying, look what he's doing now. He's getting crazy. But where we are going to keep him? And then he said that, listen that what he's saying, that then what I start to saying, I stand, I sit, and then in Assyrian, I shout, Sheikha Busmilim, Sheikha Busmilim, that's me, Jesus heal me, Jesus heal me. And they were hearing this, and they said, wow. And then my father said, yeah, you are right. He's saying this kind of things. And then I don't know, it was really something different. Anyway, so I hear the step coming down, and Lydia was there crying, and my brother was crying there, and then my father came down and opened the door again because it was locked, And then there was no stick in his hand anymore. He said, well, I mean, he was crying as well. He said, son, you are free. Doors are open. If you like, you want to go, go. Don't go from there, go from there. And if you want to stay, stay. And I said, where I want to go? I don't want to go. And then said, hey, Milton. Suddenly he said, what? He said, your face. And my face as I was that like that. And it came to its shape. And then he said, what happened to my face? He said, no, it's shape. And he hugged me. That was my first hug from my father's side, let's say. And I hugged him even stronger. And the first thing that I told him, I said, Miles, I forgive you. Oh, thank you, son, blah, blah, you know that. I said, don't talk about those things. That's finished. You are my dad. I understand, blah, this thing. And then Lydia came down and Eddie came down. And then that place was really like paradise for me. And since then, well, everything, all the doors, they were open. I could do anything, but I didn't. And sometimes my dad said, okay, you come and sleep, with Eddie and the room. I said, no, I'm not going to sleep there. That is my place. I like to sleep there. And for 8 or 10 days, I couldn't sleep. Because I just put my eyes, but I couldn't sleep. That was my problem. And then Shemira's brother, who was the Sunday school teacher, as I told you that he was there actually in that day, they starting to come before Brother Edward come back from Tehran. It took a bit longer. And they actually, as a team, they start to come to visit me and encourage me. And he came and he said that, Milton, do you have any other problems? All my addiction, whatever, it was clear. I've been healed. And even my mind, I mean, I didn't thought about the heroin, this kind of things. I said to him, the only thing, the problem that I have, I can't sleep. And he said, okay, I'm going to give you a prescription, a medicine. And he said, a medicine? I said, oh, what medicine is that? He said, Psalm 4:8. I said, what is it? Because I didn't know what is it. I thought that it is maybe a capsule of medicine name. I didn't know. I said, what? I said, Psalm 4:8. I said, what is it? Is that I have to swallow? He said, no, it is in the Bible. I said, oh. But he said, he explained that Psalm and then, chapter 4 and 8, and it says that I will sleep and I will make in the peace and I will, go sleep. That kind of things. And then he said that this is for you. And then he showed the address and opened that, said, okay, this Bible there. Tonight you read and sleep. I tell you, I read that verse and I slept. Since then till tonight, I'm sleeping very perfectly. And what happened? And after that, I was ready, and Brother Edward came, and he wanted to take me to the villages, and they told him that finished. We are not going to take him, that he been actually released and to be healed. And I went to that church and gave my testimony, and everybody was, and Urmia, because of the small city, and it was actually, everybody, I mean, they knew that now, I changed. And I remember that I took the Bible without the case, and I brought I don't know, that's okay, no, yeah. And the Bible, the basic Bible is the black case, and the red part on the paper, and inside the white. That does mean that our sins are black with the blood of Lord Jesus Christ. Once you open this, and I was taking with my hand, going with Brother Edward, because Brother Edward told me that, Brother Milton, let's walk together on the streets. And you can imagine me and Brother Edward and Assyrian, they were looking like that. And some addicted Assyrian and Armenians, they were saying, Brother Milton. that was, crazy for them. That now I changed, and I told them, "You come." I said, "Oh, no way!" Blah blah blah. And two of them, they said, "No way." Later they came and they converted. I mean, they come to the Lord. And one man, I just say this one and another word, and then I finish. If you all have a question, I saw a man. He was actually Azari, and he knew me, and he was really good with playing knives. You know what? He was really, gang. Anyway, so Bible in my hand, I was proud. But I was walking, and everybody was looking at that. I was just evangelizing people without any fear, because I said I was dead. What they want to do? They want to arrest me? Okay, no problem. They arrest me. Anyway, so I said to him, I just want to cross that he was there, because the church in Urmia was in this place that drug dealers, they were doing drugs. That was the interesting of the place. Anyway, so he suddenly said, "Hey, Milton." I said, "Yes." And he said, "I hear that you are Sister Milton now." Khahar Milton. I said, "Well, you can see sister or brother, whatever that you call me, now is me." And then I said, "Would you like to be like me, a sister? Come to our church." He pushed me like that. I said, "Go away." And after 2 months, he had got accident that he died. He was really good. I mean, good. I can't say that good man, but he was a drug dealer, but famous one. Anyway, so he died. And then what happened? I slowly, my brain came back, and I remember those people that I just punched the money from them, and take the money and give them a fake check, whatever. I just put them like that. It was at that time 40,000 toman. It was very, I mean, the salary was, let's say, 5,000, and I put it there, and I said, I will go and work hard, blah blah. And I went to the hospital. It was another story how my father goes to Tehran, capital city, and he actually gave my testimony, and the MP in there, he accepted me to go back to hospital again, and that was miracle again. And I worked very hard in the private library and the hospital library and gained the money. And there was a restaurant who was, the owner was Armenian. And then I went there, and that time the sandwich was, let's say, couple of 2 months, 5 2 months, 6 2 months. And I ordered a sandwich, and then it was full of the Muslims. And because on the restaurant was written, this restaurant is belong to only, non-Muslims. Yeah, non-Muslims. But all the time Muslims, they were there, because they knew that food was good and blah. And I just ended with the 100 tuman in my hand, because I knew that how much I, grabbed from his, anyway. So that time wasn't really digital. It's only drawer. They put the money in like that. And they said, "How much is that?" They said that, I don't know, 5 6. I put it there, and 100 as well next to it. They said, "What are you doing? You pay. What is this 100?" I said, "That is yours." Because one day I came here, long time I came just, He said, "Ah." I said, "Well, I don't know. You were there, and I just put it, and this is yours." And he said, "You sure?" And then it was, and everybody slowly, they thought that we are fighting, arguing something. And I said, "This is yours. I am Milton. I am, Milton, that one." So they said, "Hey, is that you?" I said, "It was me." I said, "Well done." And now you can imagine that everybody was thinking that, what's going on? And he just on desk, said, "Well done, well done." I said, "What well done?" He said, "Well done to you." I said, "No, it's not me. Jesus healed me." And then he pushed over, "Well done to Jesus Christ." Well done to Jesus. And everybody was shocked. What are they talking about? And he said, "Look, take this 100 and take it to that church that you are going, wherever that. Just put it in the collection." But I said, "No, that's it." And they said, "No, you have to take it." And they said, "Okay, in that case, I will take it." And that story goes on and on. And then I decided in that basement, I said, because you healed me, Lord, I'm going to minister you. For what happened to me, I will do this. And after years, once we come to England, that was that story that I told you, that in hospital, blah, blah. Anyway, there was persecution started, and in 1994, they killed Reverend Heiko Sepian and Brother Edward's brother, and then we couldn't go back because of the persecution. Then Brother Sam, who was the Inland Ministries, he knew that I know Armenian. He sent me with the Love Armenia, that was the organization in that time, if you remember, you probably remember. And he sent me to Armenia, and then I thought that those hatred for Armenian and whatever Farsi speakers, and now once I come back to myself, I said, wow, in Armenia, 11 years it took that I built a church building for Armenian, yeah, and with helping with our church in Croydon. It took a long time, but you can imagine that the man that was hate and not thinking about Armenian, and he himself speaking Farsi, preaching Farsi as well. So that is, I'm sorry, it took a long time, but that's what he did, and I, because promised him that in whatever situation is, I will minister in you, and till today, if he is satisfied, I am doing the same thing for him. So that is the And by the way, my wife, she has a really great rule. And you can imagine that everybody was doing this. It wasn't victory. That was meaning in Iran, after 2 days, 2 days you will go down again to that one. And then it didn't happen by the grace of God. Everything was, even now if somebody smoke, let's say somewhere that I can't really stay there. I don't remember even that I was, using the injection, but once I go, sometimes the cholesterol, this, that, they check, they can't find the, vein because of the injection. Then I said, oh, remember Milton, remember. And yeah, this, and Shemiran, I told her, Shemiran, because of the persecution, you have job, you can stay here, and I go, let's see what will happen, then let's see if I can come back. She said, no, die together, live together. And then she left her work, and we come here with nothing. We just left everything. And at the moment, so that is what I'm doing, voluntary for both churches, because they are from the refugee background. And of course, I'm working with the South Central Parts as a part-time. But till today, the grace of the Lord always been upon us. And I'm thankful God, as a Shemiran, as a human, that she actually helped me a lot in my faith, because she was always with me. Always with me. And I said this one, and then if you have question. I didn't have any money, and I have only 500 tomans, let's say £5. Yeah.
That time,
That time, yeah. Only. And we engaged, yeah. And Shamila said, well, Milton, we have to go and you buy something for me. I said, Shamila, I have only £5. She said, doesn't matter. You buy whatever costs. £4 and £1 for yourself. And you can imagine, for £4, what you want to buy, even in Iran that time. And we went anyway. So I buy her, I don't know what, a very, very cheap something that, I bought for her, and she was very happy. And why I'm saying this, she showed me that I am important for her.
Not the money.
Not the money. And that was really helped me a lot, because I thought that, wow, there is somebody that, thinking about the humanity, about the love of God, that she can actually love me, not the money, not the blah, blah, this kind of thing. Because I could gain money anyway, so work here, there, and I am DIY work, DIY man. Sometimes destroy it myself, not always do it myself. Anyway, so that was really affect me. And then she was really proud, and she said, Milton bought me something. And don't tell them, but she was really with me. And she heard lots of negative things that, why you married this man, blah, 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 blah. And always she said that because I believe what Jesus did for him is perfect and real. And that is why we still today. Amen. And may the Lord bless Shemira's husband. No, joking. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Sorry it took a long time, but I just wanted to mention this kind of thing because lots of things happen after that even. Every day it is miracle. Maybe with Lord Jesus Christ. He is real and He is our Almighty God. Praise Him. Amen.
So where is your brother Eddie now?
Sorry?
Where is your brother Eddie now, your younger brother?
What happened, brother Eddie? After that, he heard that what happened to me, and he saw me, and then he's starting to those two guys I mentioned. He evangelized them, and he was very, very active. And on the 30th birthday, she was killed. I was here, my brother. I was here actually at that time, and they arranged an accident.
Government.
Yeah, government. They took. Yeah.
What did they have against him?
But because he was evangelizing lots of for every, and I told him, be careful, Eddie, and he was on the bike, and they just unfortunately he's gone.
And he was going to Edward's church. Was your father Melis, you said?
Millis.
Melis, was he going to the Iranian church as well?
No, he wasn't.
Only Eddie, so a young boy 12 years old going to church by
Only Eddie was going there.
And his mom, huh?
No, actually, cousin, they were actually singing in that church. So Lydia sometimes going because she was Presbyterian, and for Presbyterian they didn't want to, people go to the Pentecostal church. But Eddie was in Sunday school with them. That is why he told them that I have brother and this,
Okay.
yeah.
So Eddie went just with a cousin, not with his mom, or just with cousin he went to church?
Yes. But sometimes, why not, mom as well. And later my father, he saw that miracle happens. Actually, he told me that he's going to give his heart to the Lord Jesus Christ. But then I come here and he was alone. Nobody actually encouraged him because Eddie wasn't there. I was here. And after Albert, I called my dad. I said that...
Albert is his daughter.
My daughter Albert, yeah. I said that if you like, you come to Armenia, we meet. And because once I said, Albert, you have grandfather, doesn't understand what is grandfather. You come, see you and grandmother as well. And it is very amazing that in Armenia, in Armenian church, I was preaching, and then my father submitted himself in Armenia because he knew Armenian even better than me. And he was on his knee and he was really crying, and they said that I just gave my heart to Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then he, of course, no. After a few years, then he passed away. But my mother, I tell you what happened actually. After my salvation, I went to Tehran, and I said all the barriers, they gone. And I said to my mother, I forgive you, Mom, but I know what happened to you. I know that you once I was a child, you were coming all this way, and she was really crying, and she was always upset and sorry for it. I said, no, don't be sorry. I finished. Because I've been forgiven, I can forgive you as well. You are my mom, you are, And then very, very good relationship starts. But at the moment she is in care house in the Tehran, so she is not really well. But you know, yeah.
Yes.
But she's alive, yeah.
And
But
your
Lydia
stepmom?
passed away in America, yeah. Lydia passed away. Twice I went to America and saw her. She was brilliant. I mean, even I tell you, closer than my mother. Because even now, I tell you that, even my mother, I call her, I tell her that, Mom, but I don't have that, you know what I mean? Because, I don't know why. Because but I know that she's my mother.
Yes, yes.
As he was my father,
Yes.
but I couldn't say that you are, you know, father, I don't know. Because I didn't grow up probably with them, that is why.
Because you thought he was your brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, my brother, I never said that, well, for, once I say my testimony, mentioned that stepbrother, but Eddie was real brother, real brother. I never forgot his small, tiny finger. Milton, Jesus can heal and save
At
you.
12 years old.
12 years old, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, praise the Lord. He is alive.
He's alive.
Yeah, he is alive.
Bless you
How many
and your
years
ministry.
have you been?
Now it is 28 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 years of the year, yeah.
God bless.
Yeah, I can go to Iran, but I no guarantee I'll come back. Yeah.
You better not go.
And
No.
Shamiran was going to the Edwards Church, or you met her somewhere else in Tehran?
No, in Iran, you mean?
Yes,
That time.
yes.
No, Shemira was in Urmia going to the Brother Edward's Church.
Also, she was going there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Before I get the...
So she knew you as a drug addict as well?
Oh yes, oh yes. You know, in Easter time, Armenian, Assyrian in Iran, there is a very, very old church, Mary, they said Mary Church, and then, very, very old. Anyway, so they gathering together and playing, eggs, and that has got the meaning, for the Easter anyway. So I remember that before I get the salvation, I went there and I said, let's see what I play for this people music, I play basketball for them, let's see what they will do. Nobody came to me, nobody, because, well, my situation. And then Shemiran told me that with her, another friend, the church, from the church, they saw me because they were praying for me, and they saw me in that area, and they wanted to come evangelizing me, but they afraid because they said that, well, people, they will see what the relationship is between them. And then that day I remember I was very upset as nobody came to me, and I said, well, my brother, Eddie, only Eddie. And I said, this is important. I come out from there and I said, well, I was again, by my mind. And then a man voice said, Milton. I turned and he was just a bit like, nervous and crying. I said, please, Milton, please, do not be close to my son, David. And well, David was a guy that he was starting, drugs. And they knew that we were just, dealing with this kind of thing. And I was very angry because he said in front of the people, and he was crying. And then I said, it's not my fault. Stop him. Do not come to me. Bye. And like that. I was very wild man. And then what happened after my salvation? I was all the time before I started my work again in the hospital. I was all the time in the church, doing some things, cleaning, doing something, preparing the meetings, blah, blah, and this kind of things. And then one day, it is very strange. I was just go to the church. I hear this time a lady calling me, Milton. And then I turned and thought, I said, well, let's see what she will say first. And she was David's mom. And then she said, Milton, can you come and take David with you to the church? And I said, wow, thank you, Lord. And I evangelized him, but he didn't accept it.
Oh.
He didn't. Well, I mean, some people they don't, some people they do.
Yes.
But lots of, from drug addicts in that time, they came to the Lord. They came to the Lord. Yeah. And
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask, because obviously Jesus set you free, you said you felt like he took that zigzag out your head and you felt the heat and then you were delivered. How long did it take that you felt you started to have a relationship with Jesus?
Immediately, because what happened, and then I started shouting that Jesus healed me because I prayed. I said, Jesus, if you are, please take me out from this situation. And immediately that happened, and then I start to say that Jesus healed me, and then they were just looking from there, and they hear me, and then my brother told my dad, look, he's saying that Jesus healed me. And then exactly in that night I promised the Lord, I said that I will minister you, even I didn't know what minister was in our language. I said, I will, do all my best for you, and that is why I promised. But immediately it started. Immediately. And then of course every day from church they come, even after that Brother Edward were coming to, and one day
they were discipling you.
yes. And I was and they gave me the cross and switch blade,
Yes.
and I was just reading and crying, I was seeing myself in that kind of group, and eventually Brother Edward said that, okay, we are coming to take you to church and you give your testimony, because church was full. And then they came with the car, and that was a bit funny because looks like guards, they took me and they were very careful, from that 5-way drug dealers. Boom! I said, why you are, experienced? Why you are afraid? I said, no, you know that place, yeah? I said, I know that place, yes, but I am finished.
Yeah.
You just believe that I am finished. And then they were very, worried that suddenly I jump out.
From
the car. Testimony, but don't take drugs.
Yeah. But strange thing is, as a Assyrian, my uncle, he was very strict Assyrian, and then I started to evangelize everybody. I mean, Armenian, Assyrian, I didn't care. I mean, in hospital, whatever. Then I mentioned to Haig that later the nurses called me and they said, come, Brother Milton, patients are waiting for you to pray. Actually, it was children's hospital, and I was just praying, and anyway. So that kind of things that were going. My uncle, I evangelized him, and he was very, very strict, and from his father's side, was communist. They came from the Russia, blah, blah, and they didn't believe God, blah, blah. And one day I was with my Bible always with me, and then I said, do you believe this? This is the book of God, blah, 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 this one. And one day he said that, I wish there was heroin in your hand, not the Bible. And I said, Uncle, now I know that how much you love me. Thank you very much. And I said, but I will pray. He said, don't pray for it. I don't believe, blah, blah. I said, okay. After years, once I come to England, what happened to his son? His son converted. His son accepted Jesus. And then, now, my uncle's son, he is minister in America, of course. And then my uncle became Christian as well.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, because God promised. Yeah?
Yeah.
You
Family.
and your family.
Yes.
That's why. Thanks God. Thanks God, Lord, for this testimony.
Yeah.
It's really blessed.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Bless all of us. Me, from deep my heart, I am just thanking you, Lord.
Amen.
Because of you we are here.
Amen.
Amen.
Because of you we are safe.
Amen.
When Milton was telling his story, I hear several times, so many times, but still, fresh and nice for me.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I was putting myself to that position. I couldn't be your position, but I was imagining myself there. And I was, deep down, crying and the same time joy.
Yes.
It's something mixed.
Hallelujah.
It's so amazing, really. So
It is for me as well. Anytime that I give my testimony, it is back to myself as well, you know. And I remember, because I remember what happened to me, and I know what happened to me. So, but it is miracle. It is miracle.
Yes.
But at the meantime, I always say this one, that it doesn't mean that people, they must be in that kind of trouble to come to the Lord Jesus, because Jesus will love them. At the day that I gave my testimony, there was a girl, 17 years old, something like that. She came, she was just, you know, and she said, Assyrian, she said that, Brother Milton, I wish I was drug addicted as well. And I said, why? She said, because I could have a very strong testimony. And she was crying. And I said, look, I did lots of wrong things. Your testimony is much more stronger than mine. Because I came from the, you know, a terrible background. But you never, you know, exercise this kind of things. Never faced this kind of things. And they said, really? I said, yeah, be sure. You don't need to be addicted to drugs.
So how many days were you locked up in the basement?
It was actually 3 days.
Not very long then.
No,
So
because
normally how long does this withdrawal take to get?
3-4 days, basically 1 week, let's say. In prison, because you know that you are in prison, you need to make yourself strong and, you know, get out of prison. Of course, depends on what crime you did, not only addiction or buying, selling, or, you know, the different kinds. And for maybe a month, a year, something like that. But usually take 1 week, and after that, you know, your body, you feel that getting better, but still you're sneezing, yeah, running nose, this kind of, but here. It is here.
It's the mental addiction.
Oh, it is mental. I mean, every time that I release from the prison that I told you before, and instead I go there, let's say, to work, whatever, or find the heroin, because it is there.
Symbolic.
So how many times were you in prison before?
Oh,
3 days. Jesus
6-7 times.
6-7 times you were in prison.
But not for a long period, because it was only drug dealing, not heavy drug dealing. And because in Urmia was close to borders with the Turkey here, there with the Kurds, and lots of drugs from there to Turkey, from Turkey to Europe. And that was the Iranian government policy, to hurt European, make the young people addicted. Oh yeah, that is why Urmia was the let's
So
say.
they wanted drugs to go.
Oh yes, oh yes. Like laboratory of the heroines, whatever, it was in Urmia, and then they just transfer, and they knew that some people they knew, and that we were just like toy for them, you know what I mean? And one day I remember I went to buy a heroin, and there was a girl, and suddenly they stopped the bus, and she had that much, and definitely they will kill him because of that much, you know. And she didn't know what to do, and because she was with the chador, with the, you know, like and hijab, and then I said to her, just tear them off. She said that the owner will kill me. They said that you will be killed by owner or by the government. You just tear off. She said, you sure? I said, yes, do it. And then just, you know, the nails that she tear. And I was behind her, and I just, you know, separated because of the village, of the mud, a bit mud, and they come up. They come up, that everybody out, and they didn't find it. Yeah. It depends that what they actually get from you, and then what crime you are involved.
I mean, you might not remember, but do you remember what were some of the first things that the Lord said to you after you got saved and healed?
Well, I can tell you that every single verse that I was reading, it was, you know, talking to me. Yeah, and the first one is that medicine, Psalm 4:8. Always it was in my mind. And another one in Hezekiel 16, that it says that I come and saw you in your blood, and then I found that you are, I covered you with, and you are mine. All this kind of thing. And I was just reading, and well, every single of the verse of the word of God touched me. Every single of it, yeah.
Actually, like you were eating all of them as a food for
Exactly,
your body.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And I was praying, and and it was for me very, very strange, because the people that are getting, healed in the especially hospital, and then I was just thinking to this, Lord, saying that, Lord, how can I pray and people? And then once I said this one, and then he replied, you are not healing, I am healing. And they said, but I'm praying. And they said, that is the miracle. He was just thinking. And one day, I tell you, I had very, very bad language because of the gang. You know what I mean? It was quite normal to be like that. It's not normal, but was in that situation. And always, all the time, I wanted to pray, long pray, I go to the basement. It was tidying up, nice. And that chain, it was hang there. Even I brought it with me. That chain is there. So anyway, and one day I said that, Lord, I have some problem with my tongue. The word coming, especially if I want to get a bit nervous, blah, blah. Because I came from the terrible, background. And then I started to pray, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes, long time. And I was, praying, Lord, do not let me do this, do not let me say that one, da 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 da. And once I finished, and I was just, and I heard in my mother tongue, Lord, speak with our language or different languages, doesn't matter. He said to me, don't do it. I said, what's your name, don't do it? And then I was closed my eyes, and he said, you are doing it. Why you are asking me? Don't let me, because I was praying the wrong prayer. Don't let me say this, don't let me do this, so don't do it. And that was really, vagueness, let's say. I said,
it's your, you have the choice.
yes. And
It's
they
so
said,
simple as well.
Just don't do it.
and they said, yeah, he's right. I should not say bad things. He didn't put that word in my mouth, but I should stop. And they said, okay, thank you very much. And we are very friends.
Yes.
Yeah. Such a friend we have.
Yes.
There is an in English as the song, isn't it?
What a friend we have in
What a
Jesus.
friend we have in Jesus. Praise the Lord, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you ever still, once you got healed and all went, did you ever still get, tempted? Did you?
Never.
Oh wow, okay. You wouldn't have because sometimes people stop things, they still get dreams of it happening.
Yeah.
So would you ever have a dream? Anything like that?
To going back, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Oh wow, okay.
You know why? Because what I believe, and I just explained this is a really good question, because let's say this glass, it is water inside. If you want to fill it with the Coke, you have to throw it away and then fill it with. For me, I feel, I'm not saying the Holy Spirit, blah, blah, shanking, no. Whatever it was in me went out, that heat, and a fresh came in. That is why, even if I tell you that, you might laughing about it. Every morning, usually all of us, we go and wash our face and check, we shave, blah, blah, blah. This is normal, isn't it? Every single day, till even today I did, and I will do again. Every day I saw myself, I said, are you living? Are you alive? And I to this said, yes, praise the Lord, I am. Because even I myself don't believe that, I am alive. Sometimes I'm thinking that maybe this is dream. I said, Shemiran, is that you? You okay? I said, no, I just want to check. And then suddenly my daughter said, hi, Dad. I said, wow, I have a daughter as well. You know what I mean? I mean,
It's a miracle.
miracle. Yeah, it is miracle. Every single day. So that is why I never tempted. Those who tempted, because I'm not saying that I am perfectly submitted myself. I don't want to say I am. No. He in me. Paul says he in me. So probably they leave a room, a small room, you know, that because temptation is there, but till I'm sure that it won't happen, because if it wanted to happen when I was younger, then it would happen. Because I then went to the gangs, I went to in Urmia to the drug dealers, to evangelizing them, and temptation was there. Even they said that, come on man, let's have us. No, it's finished, sorry. This vein is not mine, it's for Jesus. You can't, inject to Jesus' vein. So that is, I never.
So how many years were you addicted?
It was 10 years, from 17 to 27, 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, as he said, it's here.
Yeah,
Because Jesus took it out from his brain as well.
That's right. He cleansed me,
Wow.
And and 10 years, to be honest, I didn't enjoy from 17 till 27, my, teenager and, be a young man. It was just,
Stolen from you.
But after that, every day is joy for me.
I mean, do you
Your
even remember?
face changed, you said, yes? Your face changed because when you were addict.
Oh yeah, it was like that because of the injection because I'm right hand. I don't know what happened, what affected me, and I was like that.
Or like a nerve damaged something.
Probably damaged, and then that is why my father wants. So he said, Milton, your face.
Got straight again.
Oh yeah, it was straight.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So this kind of things happen.
Yeah, sorry. No, like when you were saying, like stuff, like this hand came that was like taking something out. Obviously, I've gone through similar, but it was the evil spirit Jesus coming and taking that stuff out and just filling you up with the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would never go back.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Whatever
You're a
Jesus.
new person now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whatever Jesus takes out,
Since that.
it will fill something else.
Yes.
It does. He never take something out and put you there empty. You know what I mean? He will fill instead. That is why Legion. That the guy that he was lots of possessed with the evils, and then after Jesus healed him, but people they afraid and they saw that he was sitting next to Jesus and he was really a real man. I mean he was in himself.
In his right mind.
That's right, and that is what Jesus do, and that is what happened to me as well.
But now, would you even be able to? Can you remember how it felt to be like on the drug? Like, what is it? Can you even remember that?
I can remember that once I didn't use drugs, how it was terrible. I mean, my headaches and my sneezing. I can remember, but I can imagine that what kind of pain was there. But that is why in my testimony I was telling you, that I was really feel the pain in all my everywhere. Yeah, but that won't take me to to that, let's say, place that let's try one more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, but sometimes it is quite normal once I put my hand there, even here. Now you put your hand, my veins are very, very, what do you call it? It's not soft. Yeah, because of the injection. Yeah. And there was a time that we couldn't find the vein. Even here, you can see, especially men, it's much easier than women, to find the vein. And even I couldn't find there. And I could say to the friend of mine in the addicted one is Benjamin. He's in Denmark. He lost his feet because of the drug addiction. They cut it. But he is actually one of them that my brother evangelized him. Anyway, so we were just saying from here.
Oh my.
He to me and me to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Hallelujah.
I remember these things. I remember because they come and as a
But do you remember how good the drug felt?
how
It must have felt good when you used to be addicted to it. You must have liked the drug when you were addicted to it. So do you remember that? Or has Jesus taken that away from you as well?
yeah, but that is taken away from me.
Okay.
But the funny things I still remember. Can I say something funny? Because there was a Milton, another Milton, a Syrian Milton from Tehran. Yeah, he was in Tehran and he was in university, and then he came to Urmia. He was my cousin, and because he was in capital city, usually those are in capital city. Well, more knowing more. That was
Showing
what
off more.
yeah, showing that they know more. And then he was a bit older than me, and then we had in Urmia a salty lake, yeah, and he came from Tehran and he said that Milton, would you like to go to seaside? And then said, yeah, we can go. And then he said that, what do you have with you? And they said, well, normal hashish, this kind of things, heroin, blah blah blah. And he said, have you heard about LSD? I said, no. He said, it is new. I said, really? I said, yeah, hippies. In my time, the hippies, that circle and well, I said, no, I don't know. He said, okay, let's go there. I have an LCD, which was tiny, let's say like, very, very small one, yeah? This circle one.
Pill.
And
Tiny.
like pill, yeah. And a tiny one, like reddish. And then he said that they call this one sunshine. And he put it in his hand. He said, this is sunshine, this is Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, I was always using and listening to Pink Floyd, taking me here, there, anyway. So this is sunshine, this is Pink Floyd, this is blah, 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 blah. Today we are going to use the sunshine. And that is why we need to go to seaside until, sun goes down. I said, well, I don't know, let's go. And he took me there. And he was a rich man as well. So he said that, okay, can we? He said, no, there is time for it. Okay. And then he put the, blade, and he put 4 of it. And he said that because you are new, you take 1/4. But put it under your tongue, just like that. Don't swallow. I will take half of it. I said, okay. It is dangerous? He said, no, it's not dangerous. He'll take you there. I said, okay, let's see. I was myself pilot with heroin, and he wanted to me probably another, anyway. So once it goes down, there is a time that suddenly you think that it's going down a bit faster.
The sun.
Yeah, the sun, yeah. And said, now. Then I was he said, just focus on sun. And then sun set, yeah. And then I said, nothing. They said, don't talk, just focus. I said, okay. And then, wow, I tell you, I remember that. What a colors, different colors. I mean, it was amazing. And then water starting to come on upon me, and then I was doing like that, and then, and anyway, so it passed a bit because it was 1/4. It took, let's say, 10-15 minutes, and then get normal. And then I said, Milton. Then I said, there's no Milton here. And then I saw a Milton was
Inside the bottle.
going with the cow. And there was cow because people, they come to the seaside and they left cucumber, whatever, because it was salty, and this kind of stuff, vegetables, and the cow, they brought the cows and they feed them. And I saw the Milton put his hand on the neck of the cow, and I said, what he's doing? And then I stood, and I really, to be honest, I couldn't control myself. That is why he said later, if you take Another one there, you can't imagine the height, whatever,
Yeah.
you might go down, you know.
Yeah.
And then I reached them because the cow is walking very slow, like that. And I reached them. I said, Milton, that's me. Don't talk. And I said, Milton was crying. I said, what's wrong? He said, you don't understand. She said something that I. And he said, what? He said, she's very upset. Very upset. She has children, she don't know how to feed. And they said, what are you talking about? She said, you don't understand. You blah, blah, blah. And then bad words for me. And I said, wow. I said, probably 1/4. I don't understand because he took the half. And he said, okay, what are we going to do? He said, we're going to take this with us. I said, where do you want to put it? I said, in the car. And then I started laughing. And and he was angry. He just left the cow and he kicked me. What are you laughing? You don't understand these things. I said, I'm sorry, I'm low class. I'm a very low class of these things. I'm sorry, I don't understand. You understand better. They said, next time I will give you half, then you will understand. I said, okay, I will. But I'm saying this kind of things happens because you just imagine, which is not true. I mean, he was talking to the cow.
Yeah.
It was donkey, like balance donkey, but it was cow. But well, he was thinking that he's doing.
He was thinking the cow's talking to him.
I love this plant. Can you tell the story of this plant to Milton?